Good afternoon. Welcome to the final game of pool play here on day 2 at the Australian Ultimate Championships in balmy Ballarat. My name is Oakley Mullen, joined here with Avril Tam. Avril, tell us what we're up for today.
Well, it's good to be back on the stream. It's a really lovely afternoon here. Sun is shining bright. Rogue having just defeated Chaos on Universe in the previous game. Spicy coming into this game with a loss to Ellipsis Ampersand 11-15. I'm sure the two will be looking to finish strongly in this pool.
I couldn't agree with you more there, Avril. It's very different conditions to what we saw for Spicy's stream game this morning. It was very wet, very dewy. Spicy chili up here. So, Avril, you're very familiar with them. Tell us what we're going to be looking at today.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we saw on the stream this morning, Kiyomi Notori, one of the Tokyo Mavericks who's come across to Chile this year, she has been throwing really aggressive, offensive shots, opening up the whole field. You've got some top-class receivers in Michaela Dunmore and Tash Langston. Mish Phillips, can do it both behind and in front of the disc. Evie Miller actually had a really good game as well this morning, really championing in that handler space. So look for her to create some great options there for Chile.
Looking at the team list here for Rogue, lots of big names. Going to be seeing lots of things from Carpenter, probably lots of things from Bub. Danny Alexander, we can expect to see her in the deep space, and probably Eunice Chung putting up some big puts to her, as well as Helena Latamados.
Yeah, absolutely. Eunice Chung absolutely just racking up all the stats. Heaps of assists, just getting every second pass, really anchoring that O-line.
Didn't quite see what the flip was, but I think Chile's going to be coming out on defense here in what would be the slight upwind.
Yeah, that's right. So Rogue starting on offense. And they'll have the slight downward advantage here.
We see Papa Colfink there on the field, coaching Chile.
Yep, with baby Caspi in tow.
With baby on board.
Plenty of early exposure for baby Caspi.
What is it? No, not inundate them early.
It's never too much Frisbee, right?
Never too much Frisbee.
And looks like Kato Yoshida is holding on to the disc for the pool. Look for a big one from her. Archie one, I reckon. And up we go. Yoshida with a lovely floaty pull-up wind. We've got Bub picking up the disc across. Eunice Chung, as you called earlier, Oakley. She's going to champion this O-line. Lovely attack by Angela Pigeon. Very reliable receiver. Up across to Maddie Owens on the far sideline. Oh, lovely pickup from her toes. I think that's Gal. Oh, looking across, centering the disc to Latamados. This vert stack. Chile trying to apply some pressure. Maddie Owens gets a nice little under. And again, centering the disc. Angela Pigeon. What can she do here? Eunice Chung. Oh, it's a lovely cut, but she elects to go for the break around. Oh! Tash Langston gets up high in front of Pigeon. Early break opportunity. She goes for a run. Yoshida holsters, goes for the safe option. Plenty of fakes, but the stall count's rising. And the up line to McInerney. Stack is pretty stagnant though. Yoshida, this is a high speculative disc, but floats out the sideline. Chile unable to capitalise on this first break opportunity.
Just had a lot of lip on that one there from McInerney. A lot of lip, and I don't think the direction was quite where she wanted to go. Looked like they tried to toe it in, but wrong line.
Classic 3-metre line in the way. Eunice Chung to bring it in from the side. Just slight overthrow there to Ruse. Yoshida winds up for the big. Just a safe one across to Langston, moving across to McInerney. Just trying to, unfortunately that turfs the disc. So Chile not able to stay chilly enough at the moment to slot in the offense.
Tends to be the way in the first point. It gets a bit scrappy whilst teams are finding their groove.
Yeah, for sure. Both teams still finding their feet here, trying to get settled. As you have Pigeon on the far side, Owens offers an upline cut. She doesn't like the look. Chung as well. She wants the around, but not coming. So, a lovely upline just above. Maddie Owens just snaffles that up. Lovely score by Rogue to get their account going.
great hands there from Owens. It was a bit of a laser flick down that sideline.
Yeah, you could see Pigeon. She had 1, 2, 3 open options on that side. Tash Langston just getting in the lane. She wanted the around actually, but she went, oh, the Saw Cat's getting hard. Just gonna have to rifle that through. Bub just lasers that through to Owen. Manages to hold on.
And we've seen that regularly on the stream throughout the day, Avril. That far sideline on the downwind point is a favourite with that flick at the moment.
So Rogue managed to hold, although it's not a clean one. Spicy Chili had 2 opportunities on defense.
This morning when we saw Chile play, that upwind was quite hard to get. And once teams figured out how to break through the wind and get that upwind, it was smooth sailing realistically.
Yeah, for sure. I think once they got settled, worked it out, played really patient offense, that's when they looked really good. So we've got Rogue putting on a bit of a junk look, but Chile managing to gain yards fairly quickly with some quick disc movement using the legs. Phillips, a settling presence. We've got Evie Miller, as we mentioned before the game. Looks like Rogue are doing well to slow Chile down, not allowing those easy unders now. A lovely crossfield across to Wong. Unmarked for the moment. Comes back to Suzuki, looking to swing, move and work around the zone. Oh, Mish Phillips goes for a big one. Who's out the back? Is that Lowry with the score. Chile did well to work through that zone. Rogue looking to slow things down, but Chile ultimately showing that they've got a few ways to work through it.
It was great field awareness and vision there from Mish Phillips. As you see on the replay, the disc comes back to her. Lowry starts sneaking around the back of the end zone, and she puts the disc up with just enough lip under it that it floats for Lowry to run onto. Lowry does a great job to just tiptoe back into the end zone there to make sure that she keeps her feet in.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the defenders in the deep space both turn the wrong way, which put them in. Here we go, you see. Lowry just reads that really well just before it gets out the back.
So 2 downwind points now. Both teams have held.
Although you'd say Chile managing to get the clean offense, maybe just settled a little bit faster than Rogue have.
Expecting a big pull here from Michaela Dunmore.
Absolutely, with that big lefty raking throw. Oh, lovely upwind pull here.
Bub with the reception, centres to Chung. Surveying her downfield options, she puts it up and completely overthrows Gal there. Matona's picking up the disc. Surveying the field for options. She's got some dub spray. So there's Michaela Dunmore. Look, winding up, but doesn't put it. Looking for options. Gets the dump there. Back to Matonis. She looks off Dunmore. Whoa, threads the inside.
Ahashi with a fantastic layout to save the disc. Vigorous fake. Looking for a dump now. Dunmore again in that reset space. It looks a little bit for the hammer, but a safe dump across to Ahashi. Downfield aren't looking too convincing for Chile at the moment. Unfortunately just bounces out of the hands of White. So Rogue with an opportunity here. Just to settle things down a little bit. Looks like they're going to be setting up a horror.
So we have Chong walking towards the disc. She's got Latamato setting up in the dump space, and Bub on this close sideline. Immediate deep cut from Owens, but she looks cross field there to Pigeon, and there is now a question of if the disc was up or not. Just checking with her teammates, called up, play will resume.
See Owens already unmarked in the deep space. That's
and
pretty
she
dangerous.
Puts it, too flat. too flat, that one there from Pigeon, and with that downwind wind, it pushes it straight into the turf. We have Matonis picking up the disc. She's looking for the immediate dump. With Dummel, she winds up. Can White get there?
The disc just dipping really quickly into the turf.
Always had two receivers there. It just had a bit too much angle on it, so it cut into the ground a bit too quickly.
Yeah, offensively downfield with Chile, the movement from the cutters is just not looking convincing enough for the handlers to throw it. Just a little bit of doubt in their minds, so unfortunately the score count's getting pretty high.
Chung to Ruiz, Owens, back to Chung, working hard, back to Owens, is unmarked. There is a poach somewhere. Dunmore closing in now. She gets the round backhand. Oh, overthrows. And I think Kabai maybe got a hand to that one.
Yeah, Kabai manages to get the turn, gets the disc moving quickly to Matonis, who goes to Joe. All across to Matonis, but Gal gets in there, manages to get the block.
Apologies if we're getting the player on here. It's a very crowded sideline for us.
So Chung picking up, ever reliable, overthrows Latamatas, but Pigeon providing the backup and it bounces out of her hands. Ooh. All right, everyone take a breath. Matonis picking up the disc, setting up a horror. Let's see if Chile can make use. Dunmore getting into space. Continuation, Kabai goes, Michaela Dunmore goes for the big backhand. Come on, Kabai. She does everything she can to save the disc, but it beats her to the ground. What a great bid by Kabai, doing it on both ends, on D and O.
That was a great bid, and it was on the trailing edge as well. As we see on the replay there, it's fading away from her, which is arguably one of the hardest catches to make if you're trying to catch that trailing edge.
Absolutely, with the disc just floating away. She just really went for the layout just in case she was able to reach it. Kudos to her. So Chung again picking up. Latamatos beats the player, but it's a lovely shot by Chung. Now up to Pigeon on that far sideline. Chung, Pigeon, the two of them working well. And now down to Owens, who they're really leaving her alone, which is surprising because Owens has been really strong in that downfield space. There she goes again. Owens and Chung go for the break side.
Dunmore with the run through D.
Getting her mitts in. I'm sure she'll be looking for a big option, if not a timeout perhaps. A raking crossfield dump to Ahashi. Again, the downfield just not looking very convincing for Chile's offense. So having to settle for the dump for Dunmore. No one going for the continuation long or through the fingers of Kabai. Chile just really need to clean up this downfield offense.
This point's been going on for quite some time now, Avril, and so the players start to tire and then they start to take questionable options because they want to try and get it over with quicker.
Yes, absolutely. As we see Latamatos with the disc on the close sideline. Owens coming across from the front of stack. You can see the weary legs, not much movement from downfield, although Bub provides a lovely option from the front. Bub looking to Owens. And she overthrows that one as well. It'll be who can settle first, really. Who can maintain possession? Neither team looking likely at the moment. So Dunmore, I guess she'd be looking for a big timeout. There we go. Michaela Dunmore asking her team to get up and going.
Can't say I'm surprised with the timeout call. This point has been going on for quite some time, as we just said.
Yeah.
If we look at the stats here, we've had 6 turnovers.
6 just from Rogue, 5 from Chile.
5 from Chile.
11 in total.
That's 11 in total. That's a lot of back and forth. The legs tire, and mentally you start to make questionable options.
Yeah, for sure.
Smart call from Michaela. We can see here that she's imparting some words of wisdom on the Chile ladies. Probably asking for a bit more structure in that downfield space. and cuts to come a bit more continuously, because if they're too stagnant, you can't move the disc.
Yeah, absolutely. The Chile, they're using their throws well on offense, but maybe not their legs yet. They really need to get into gear. Saying that, I believe both teams, definitely Chile, they played one game yesterday and have had 3 today. So third game of the day, the weariness is showing.
That's right. With only 10 women's teams attending this weekend, we've had 2 pools of 5, which has meant that there has been everyone has to have a bye at some stage. Some teams have been fortunate enough to experience the bye where they've had 2 games,
2 and 2,
2 and 2, which I think would probably
be a favourable draw.
Be a favourable draw. So Dunmore on the far sideline. She has Matona set up in her dump space, but quite far away. She engages now. Matona's coming through. Oh!
Saved by Ohashi again. She's been really getting to the ground. Key to maintaining possession at this point. And up goes Dunmore, towing it in. She's going the big backhand. Kabai in the space. Pulbrook in the space. And Bub wins. 2-on-1 for Chilin. They couldn't pull it down.
See the replay here. The defence did well. Shannon Bub got in close behind, which meant that Kabai couldn't keep backing up into the space.
Yep.
She had to go up early.
Yep, fantastic position by Bub to force Kabai to go up early. That's right, okay. All right, so Chung having to work all the way up to Ruiz. Chile getting plenty of instructions from the sideline with the force. Chile get the turn at half field. Matonis picks up quickly. Dunmore's poached at the moment. Couldn't get it to her, so goes across open side to right. White with no mark. Centers it to Joe. And goes, Maddie Owens with a massive layout block. Although there's probably going to be some discussion. Owens v. Kabai.
Here on the replay.
You can see Kabai literally just turned away as the throw went up, which allowed Owens that space to really get in, but way to commit to get on the ground. So Chung, another crack at it, marked by Ohashi. Lovely to Ruiz, across to Pigeon, center of the field now. You feel Rogue starting to settle into this game. Ladamados fakes the big, not forthcoming. Pretty stagnant downfield. Let's see who's willing to work for her. Bub managing to catch a deflected disc by White. Back to Ladamados. They've lost a few yards now. Just looking to settle, looking for 100% passes. Chung gets free. Just for the reset and goes big.
She puts
and
it
it's
up.
Pigeon versus Kabai. Pigeon wins out for Rogue.
That's a great grab there from Pigeon, and Kabai putting a lot of pressure on that.
Absolutely, she calls it a goal. That's a good matchup. Hopefully we'll see that a few more times for the rest of the game.
I'd love to see that one again. That was a phenomenal put there from Eunice Chung. I don't think it could have been more pinpointed.
No, I think that was definitely one of the ones where you trust your receiver.
You see on the replay, she turns, puts it up. It almost looked like Kabai had fingertips to it.
Yeah, perhaps the sun getting a little bit in the eyes, just misjudged it a tiny bit, and sometimes that's the difference. Pigeon did really well to make sure she was in position. I think that was a trust throw, though. You see just that dump swing across, and Chung doesn't even look, and she just goes bang.
Team chemistry plays dividends.
Absolutely. All right, so we've got Rogue on D now. Spicy Chili will have the slight downward advantage, although as I say that, the wind's pretty dead. Big pull coming up from Maya Carpenter. Lands about brick mark. Wong centers the disc to Miller. Setting up in a horror for Chili's offense. Bit of a junky look from Rogue, trying to slow things down. Mish Phillips now on the close sideline. You can see Lamb just sagging in the lane on defense, making those undershots really difficult. So Chile having to retreat back. and then goes sideways, but it's an
Oh.
overthrow. Gives Rogue a really short field to work with.
Could be looking at the first upwind point of the game, which would be a really advantageous position for Rogue to be sitting and getting that early break.
Yeah, very valuable. So Carpenter picking up from the side. Oh, Lamb catches it under pressure. Apologies, Sutton under pressure. Oh, but turfs the disc. Miller picks it up to get things going quickly before defense set. Wong looking across, waiting for someone to come through. The cup collapses in on her. Oh, and that's a disc. Oh, Suzuki gets on the ground to make sure of it just before the line. Manages to keep it in. Chile are pinned back behind at the moment. Oh!
Miller.
Tries to keep her toes in as she catches that awkward disc. It's going to be an in-out call discussed here.
No, I think she sought advice from the game advisor.
Agreed that it was out. All right, and Rhea Carpenter picking up on the sideline. There's no one coming into marker yet. Mish Phillips finally recognizing a floaty shot, and that's a score. That's the upwind break, as you called it, Oakley. Branda Lamb with the score.
Very advantageous for Rogue to be positioned, for Rogue to be sitting in 3-1 with the upwind break, although right now it feels like the wind has well and truly dropped off, which probably made that a little bit easier for them as well. That wind has been coming and going throughout the whole game, and when it blows, it absolutely makes it more difficult, but the wind settled enough there for Rogue to get that one, and they'll be like super happy with that, because they started. Did they start on defense?
Gosh, you're really testing me on the last game of the day, Oakley.
I think Rogue started on defense, which means that Rogue started on offense. So that is a really good spot for them to be in come the mirrored half.
Yeah, definitely. And you could see that really intense pressure close to the disc, that cup really collapsing, and Chile just not really recognising the space that they were given. Getting those turns really early, giving them the short field to work with, made that a much easier score. So as we see, the pull goes up, a bit of a roller from Rogue. Wong and Yoshida doing double duty at the moment. Rogue putting on that junk again, which was so effective the previous point. Wong goes through the cup to Van. A lovely shot with a fairly high stall count. Retreating back a little, given the pressure of the cup. Chile now trying to use their legs to work through. Again, the movement's just really not there. Langston comes all the way back to help out Van. Just little dishes through the cup at the moment without a lot of forward momentum, and then unfortunately Wong just drops that one.
A little bit of a fumble, and you see that sometimes happening when there is that pressure of multiple players around you. Thinking about what you're going to turn around to can be a bit intimidating at times.
So Janacek's got the disc now. Rogue's D-line offense. Comes across. Nice gainer under. Palmer's really championing this offense, and she goes for a big flick. Hark, who's in the space? And that's a fantastic grab by the receiver in Rogue.
Caroline Tamas.
Well done, Tamas. That was a beautiful work by Beck Palmer's, really solidifying that defense, that offensive D-line.
So you see it there on the replay. Here's Palmer, pops it up nicely. Tamas actually sitting towards the back of the end zone. It sails over a few people's heads there before it lands in her mitts.
I'm sure Palmer would have said she was always their intended receiver.
Always. Always, and you never say otherwise.
Rogue really showing that they've got the long game on both their lines. We saw Pigeon, a trust throw from Chung, and Palmer, a really nice long throw to Thomas there. So Rogue showing that they've definitely got the long game. We'll see if that's something that Chile can shut down. But first, Chile have really got to try and stay in touch on the scoreboard, with Rogue pulling away 4-1 now.
It's Maybe Carpenter with the pull again. There it is. Has a good amount of float to it. Matonis receiving. Finds Kabai there in a nice high release backhand. Back to Matonis. She looks break side, but it's really tough. Mark. Oh!
Joel getting on the ground again. Ahashi saving the disc. I think that's her third save of this game on the ground. Quick movement between Matonis and Ahashi.
She finds White in the close sideline, getting it back to Matonis in the center of the field. Surveying her options. There's not a lot of movement downfield. Nice inside. Back to Matonis. Finds Mish on this close sideline. Unmarked. She pops it over. Oh! Kabai!
Gets it done in the end zone this time.
Right over the outstretched hands of Rhea Carpenter. Mish Phillips just gives it enough height.
Same one again. And you see Chile, I think this might be one of their first clean O points or maybe their second clean O point. They need a few more of those in the bank.
Chile really needed this point though. As you see there, Mish put it back up again. It goes over the outstretched arms of Carpenter. And Kabai getting rowdy to bring that down. Chile really needed to get that one to keep their confidence.
Yeah, and I think really hard work done by Matonis and Ohashi in the backfield there. Just a few small passes, give goes, just to get the defense moving and then opening up that long shot for Mish Phillips to Kabai in the end zone. So Rogue showing they've got the deep shots. Spicy Chili also showing us they've got the deep shots. We'll see what else this game has in store.
Fortunately for Spicy Chili, that wind just felt like it picked up again. Which, I mean, you almost feel like every time I'm going upwind, why does the wind pick up? Why does it do that?
Right, so the Spicy D-liner will be hoping to try and peg one back. Still just in touch on the scoreboard at 2-4 at the moment, but they'd love to get an opportunity here as Lowry goes for a pull. Just a little bit shy of brick mark. It's rolling backwards as well. Nick Wong immediately on the mark. She's drawn the matchup for Eunice Chung. Ooh.
Oh! Bit of contact on that reception there from Mish Phillips.
Yeah,
I think a foul called for Ruiz.
Yeah, it looks like it's an accepted foul. So Gao will maintain possession of the disc.
Immediately dumps back to Lanamatos, now to Chung. Wong on the marks. Chile setting up a bit of a junky look. Oh, beautiful through the center to Barb. And she pops it out into space.
Laser. Straight into Meili Gao for a quick score.
That pass to Shannon Bub through the center of the field was phenomenal. As we see it here again, outstretched hands, and it sets her up perfectly for that nice down the line. There's Eunice Chung directing traffic, puts the flick through, and Shannon Bubbs in an acreage.
Full extension on those hands with a one-handed grab. I'd say Bub made Chung look pretty good there.
Catches the Chile defenders off guard because there was no one marking that space.
Yeah, as you called before, Oakley, Chile setting up a little bit of a junk look, but maybe not paying enough attention to that kind of mid-space there. Rogue taking that option, making it look easy, really. So 5-2, Rogue again pulling away a little. We've got their D line up, Palmer on the pull. And it goes up. Chile asking their players to continue giving, the sideline trying to get up.
Bricks
Rogue
being called. Must have just landed ever so slightly out of field.
It's a junk look again from Rogue. It's been successful for them, so why not again? Oh, high raking flick to Langston. They're going to try and trap her here, I'd imagine. Oh, but Langston gets through to Van, overthrown. Rogue going immediately. Palmer, again, that reliable D-line handler. Got it up to Janacek. Palmer working hard to get up line. It's a floaty pull. Yoshida gets in there. And Chile with another opportunity. Yoshida buying a little bit of time, sorting out her hat. There's a lot of noise on this sideline. Wong goes up line and she puts a big one. Can Jane Wong get there? The disc just beats her. Whew.
As we saw in that one there from Janacek, I think it was to Palmer, how much the wind is punishing those upwind puts at this point in time.
Yeah, it just gusted up, lifted it up, gave Yoshida that opportunity to get the disc to the ground. About half field. So D-line offense for Rogue. Seeing if they can do, ooh, it's a long shot. Getting to ground to save that disc. Looking really nice and patient for now, knowing this upwind is really precious. Rogues looking for potentially an inside or centering disc. Not really wanting the upline and to get stuck on this sideline. Jumps across to Epstein. Making use of that break side space. Beck Palmer now goes to the middle. Chile really struggling to keep up. Bex Palmer, they really need to shut her down. She's getting every second pass at the moment. Janacek offers a little dump, and of course, 1-2 with Bex Palmer. All right, things slowing down a little bit now for Rogue, but they're looking prime position, a lovely high disc. Well received by Meili Gao. Apologies to Alyssa Chua. Fantastic work, Rogue, to get another upwind break.
Tamas and Palmer in the driver's seat of that offense there.
Absolutely, Palmer just getting every second dish. She's working so hard just to get those safe options so they're not having to go for those big options. But great vision. Chua just sitting in that space with the defenders having just tried to cover that open under a little bit too much. And that's Janacek just identifying that little pocket up the back. Chua getting up high to secure that catch despite some defensive pressure there from two Chile players.
It was a very bladey flick there from Janacek, but in this instance, it worked. In, I think, any other positioning or point on the field, those bladey flicks are just hitting the turf. The wind is wreaking havoc with them. But that is, I think, the only position on the field where it's actually acceptable and it's coming off.
Yeah, for sure. I think because Rogue used their legs to really use that small ball to work themselves up into the red zone, and then they got into the red zone. They had the opportunity. It wasn't one of those longer kind of bladey throws. It was short enough that the blade didn't actually affect the drop of the disc too much. So there's a timeout called, I'm guessing by Chile, just to try to reset. Rogue 6-2 up. They've definitely got the momentum in this game. You can hear the loud sideline. Their spirits are up. We're going to have to see if Chile can do something to pull it back, because it's looking like Rogue might be able to run away with it.
You're not wrong there, Avril. Chile definitely do need to change up something in their offense and their defense. Clean up their offense a bit to try and hold cleanly. And then change up their defense so they can start getting the blocks more, and then again utilising the offense to convert.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Rogue come down in junk look. It's been effective for them before, and with that upwind effort here for Chile, they're going to have to use a small ball. I don't think that they were recognising what Rogue were giving to them earlier in this game, so I'm hoping that they can make those adjustments and bring it back so we've got a bit of a contest and a bit more scoreboard pressure.
That wind has started blustering again, which, again, unfortunate for Chile to be going into that. Rogue made good work of that previously, though. Chile trying to emulate. It was a nice ball. Ahashi here to Phillips. Closer to this commentary sideline. She's looking for the inside. Goes over top. Oh. Looked like she was going to put the big there, but didn't. Dunmore coming back for the dump. She's got Bradley out unmarked. She looks back at Dunmore. Bradley, she puts it up. Oh! Was there a fingertip to that, Avril?
Yeah, it looked like it because it didn't look like that was where Dunmore intended to throw the disc.
Not at all. There was a mid-air bobble, but must have been a fingertip to it somewhere. Carpenter.
Ooh. Way to save it, getting on the ground, Evelyn Ha.
Carpenter again getting it. Oh, nice big around backhand, but there's been a pick called in the stack, which is probably why Brandon Lamb's out in an acreage of space.
Good on Branda for catching that, knowing that there was a bit of a call, making sure of it.
Resetting back in the center of the field there. Quick discussion on where positioning will be. Disc is coming back in. Langston on the mark. Carpenter does not have a dump either. Langston sorting out exactly what side of the mark she was on. And Carpenter resurveying.
Oh, you can see Pigeon going long. Sorry, Ha going long. They work that under space well.
With Sutton there. Looks back at Carpenter. Here she is with Tar. Hits the round backhand. Oh! Healy.
To Ha. He's knocking on the doorstep now. Looking for a dump. Oh! Healy goes for the layout, but not quick enough.
She looked a bit hesitant there, Avril. I think if she didn't hesitate, she would have had it.
I think she was trying to read where the disc was going to fall, time the layout. There's so much brain work that goes into this. Maybe just a reflex layout would have done the job. But credits to Chile for getting the defensive block. There was so much pressure, and Bradley's going to go! She does go, but the ground beats her. Short field for Rogue to work with.
Slight overthrow from Ahashi gives Rogue the disc back within meters of the end zone. Picked up by Carpenter, trying to isolate some space. Back down the line. Oh, Rogue have it there. Brandon Lamb. Great job of isolating Brandon Lamb in the space there. That's Rogue up 7-2. They're one away from half. It's a really tough space for Chile to be sitting in.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see the replay here, Lamb goes for the fill. Ahashi overcommits a tad, just one step too much. And Brandon Lamb turns and just has enough of a window for Carpenter to throw into. It's hard to see Chile coming back from here. They've really got to do something to get control of this game because it's slipping away very, very quickly.
It is, and I mean, I don't want to say it's unfortunate, but it is unfortunate that that wind is coming in lulls. It comes and goes, and it hasn't worked in Chile's favour, unfortunately. But Rogue have been really capitalising, and Rogue have done really well at working with the wind, especially on those upwinds to get those breaks.
Yeah, Rogue have been working so well with the small ball using their legs, whereas Chile have been relying on their throws. And I think maybe if Chile just work with their legs, maybe just starting in the backfield and using those to run up and get those small passes, a little bit more security and safety in this upwind. So Chile trying to make sure of this downward offensive point. The junk from Rogue holding things up, having to retreat a little to Matonis, but coming up this side to Evie Miller. Working around the cup. Oh, that's a speculative one, but Notori reads it well. And she goes the big huck. Although there's a Rogue defender, gobbles that up.
Dos Santos Lee.
It's lovely positioning there.
Almost like it was for her.
Yeah.
I don't think that was obviously not the intention of Notori there. I think she was trying to hit Kabaya. I think it was maybe Wong who was the other receiver in the back of the end zone there.
What a contrast, hey, with Rogue having a couple of trust hucks, Chile trying one but not working out.
Tamas with the disc, finds Epstein, Chua in the center of the field. Looking at options, there's Palmer, Janacek, Palmer again, driving the offense here. Nice around there, looking for Helen Epstein. Far sideline, center of the field. Through to the center, Chua, Janacek, nice around break. Oh! One was almost there. Dos Santos Lee. She gets the D in the end zone, gets the score. What a nice bookends.
Absolutely. Double happiness there for Dos Santos Lee. And Rogue taking half very authoritatively, 8-2.
Really stamping their mark on this game and showing us just, exactly how hard they're going to come out and work.
Yeah, for sure. What's interesting I noticed in that last passage of play is that Rogue are consistently attacking the middle of the field. That way it really opens up. They've got both the break side option and the open side option, meaning that, Spicy aren't able to really force them one way, and therefore having to defend a much larger field. So in this next half, look, I'm not sure if Spicy were purposely forcing middle, but it's not working. So they've got to make those adjustments coming out of half. We've got to see what they can do here.
Couldn't agree with you more. Let's take a quick break, everyone. We'll come back in a couple of minutes with the second half of this cracker game.
Mindful moments, learning ancient traditions. Golden hours spent pressing pause on time. Afternoons whiled away absorbing wisdom. And treasure hunts that never disappoint. Whatever brings you to Ballarat, you'll always return remade.
And we're back after half in this last game here on day 2. We have Sydney's Rogue versus Melbourne's Spicy Chili. Rogue took half 8-2. They've really stamped and taken a really authoritative approach to this game. Just as we go and look at some of the comments online here, we've had someone ask about how, if we know how the Heads of State boys have been. The feedback we received is that Heads of State have won both of their games today. So thank you for bringing those comments in. We do have some comments on baby Casper here. He's just been crawling on the sideline there. Cute little things to watch there on the sideline. They're watch out for them in 15 years' time on the junior fields.
Next generation Phillips.
We'll be looking out for them, certainly. Rogue coming out on D after half now.
Carpenter with a massive pull upwind. Received by Yoshida. Dunmore Yoshida doing a quick 1-2. Rogue again setting that junk. Again, fairly static downfield for Chile, really limiting their options. Ahashi's been really big this game. Notori having to track the overhead. She does really well to maintain possession. Massive smile on her face. Lots of pointing there. Ahashi, very reliable in this game today. Across to Yoshida. All the Mavericks teammates. Oh, and a massive backhand hug from Yoshida. That has huge float. Let's see who can read it. Oh. The ground reads it better than everyone else.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, that really just sailed over everyone's heads. You can see the Tokyo Mavericks teammates, Yoshida, Ahashi and Notori, working well together in the backfield, but that target just really not quite being accurate enough. As Rogue now bringing it up from their defensive end zone, making really nice use. Way to get up high.
And a lie there.
Rogue absolutely with much better flow than Chile, which is making all the difference right now. And it's a lovely inside flip from Carpenter. Ooh, again, attacking the middle of the field. These open unders, they're really killing Chile. Rogue taking full advantage. Carpenter there, steadying, anchoring, handler. Oh, and Brenda Lamb, that disc came with a bit of zip. I think she closed her eyes and the disc flipped over. So we've got Phillips now starting behind the disc, all the way across to Yoshida.
Deep though.
She wants the deep, pulls a defender, and she goes for a hammer over the top. Notori to Langston. Now they're knocking on the doorstep. This is looking much better from Chile. Let's see if they can just stay Chile and hold it on. And yes, they do via Hannah Bradley. Tash Langston to Hannah Bradley. Some of their lesser known players for Chile making sure of it.
Chile doing extremely well there to contain that Rogue offense, create the turn, and then bring it back. It's not 8-3 is definitely better than 9-2. And that's a really strong way to come out of half. There would have been lots of things said during that halftime from Coach Colfink, especially in relation to bringing the intensity back, playing their game, trying to get the cuts happening. Apologies if you can hear baby Caspi screaming in the background. Not having a fun time over there. So good place for Chile to be in and trying to bring back that intensity after half.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I guess a bit of a contrast. Chile versus Chaos, which was the first game of the day. They were really loose on the sideline, dancing, doing the Speedy Macarena. Very different feel this game. Heads down, really focused. Let's see what they can pull out. So they've done the first step and maybe hoping to pick another one back.
Paul just stays in field. Field by Barb. Oh, it's nearly a run through from Riona White. Back with Barb. Now she's finding Eunice Chung again. In a power position, she pops it up. Completely overthrows her receiver there in Gao. And Mish Phillips read it like a book and was there. Didn't get the D. She let it sail out, but I think had it been any closer, she would have.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if Phillips is playing a few more points now, just to try to get a little bit of momentum back for Chile. We know she really pulls it out in big games. And there goes the speculative high flick. Van! Goes up, but couldn't quite get her fingers around the rim.
She had a great read on it, though.
And she probably had space out the back as well, but just got sucked in a little bit by the defender, perhaps.
Owens in the center of the field. She doesn't have a dump, though. Latamatos now close to the sideline, pump fakes the backhand and the flick, trying to find an option. Goes the around to Owens. There's a few cuts coming break side, but they're looked off. Finds Chung again. She's trying to find any cut. Finds Owens there. Outstretched hands of Callan Lowry. Can't quite get the D on that one. That's Rogue.
Another clean hold for Rogue.
Another clean hold for Rogue. They're doing really well on offense. They're really comfortable, as you see here with Eunice Chong with the disc. They're really comfortable holding it until they have that open option and then not forcing the options that aren't there.
Yeah, they're doing really what Chile need to be doing. They're just working hard for each other and making sure that the options that they're taking are easy, well, so to speak, as easy as you can get at Div 1 national level. Right, so hold by Chile and Rogue to get this half started. All the points going downwind so far. As we see Bex Palmer looking to pull. She's been in everything this game. There we go, big one. That's past the brick mark. Matonis getting things going with Wong in the backfield. Again, this junkie look, Wong, a very aggressive shot to the wing to Thea Poolbrook. She resets. Oh, and another aggressive shot down that sideline to Evie Miller. She's now in the red zone. Notori just asking her to shoot the easy one. Thea Poolbrook now making sure they use the widths. She holsters, couple of looks. Storkat must be getting up. She goes for the big forehand arcing shot. Nicole Wong out the back, just outreads the two Rogue defenders. Fantastic positioning by Wong. A great assist by Poolbrook. That raking flick over the top cross field. They did that maybe 3 times during that sequence to get her all the way up for a clean hold.
You see Poolbrook here in the replay. She kind of winds up for it a few times before the defense moves and almost opens Wong up for the shot. And defense always has to go up early because if you don't, then you're essentially just giving it to the offense. But the way the throw from Poolbrook goes up, the way it cuts back into the field, it misses the defense, and Nicole Wong didn't even have to jump for it. She just sat there and straight in the breadbasket.
Yeah, absolutely. Just enough blade to get over the defenders there.
And those bladey flicks have shown to be useful in that red zone play.
Absolutely.
No other time. No other time, Avril.
Yeah, they had a few of those flicks on that far sideline, but certainly not the crossfield options. And you see the voices starting to increase from Chile now. Rogue maybe a little bit quieter than they were at half, but they'll be quietly confident with the scoreline at 9-4.
Miss Phillips just keeping that one in.
Oh, bang on. Pressure on that first throw. Eunice Chung still looking pretty relaxed. Looks to the middle to Pigeon. She's at half field now. Having to retreat a little to Latamatos, but still retains possession in the middle. Lovely one across to Owens. A beautiful inside backhand.
Nicole Wong playing great dump D there.
Absolutely. Putting the pressure on Latamatos. Not moving up too much, but now she gets another inside backhand to Ruiz. Ruiz just dumps to Latamatos with Wong hot on her heels. Applying plenty of pressure. And that's Pigeon with a diving catch, a fading disc. She goes upfield, just cramming it on that sideline. Chung, a raking forehand, and that's another score by Rogue. Couple of clean offensive points by both teams now out of half. 10-4, Rogue pull away again.
I'd just like to highlight there how good Nicole Wong's dump defense was. Even if it was the open side dump there, Helena Latamaros was the open side dump, but Nicole Wong did so well at just with the little jinky movements, taking away the space, and almost got like the run through D. So props to Nicole there for great dump D, and applied enough pressure to that throw. As we can see here, Angela Pigeon had to hit the turf to keep the disc alive.
Yeah, for sure. And look, it's a bit of investment as well from Nicole Wong. Yeah, Latamaros might have managed to get that shot through this time, but next time there's going to be some doubts, from the person with the disc. Is she actually free on that dump? Maybe a little bit of miscue, maybe a little throw just behind her or beyond her. So really great pressure. We can see Chile amping things up now. They've just got to really stay focused on offense, and that might be enough to pull back the game and put a little bit more scoreline pressure on. So Carpenter, lovely pull, received by Yoshida, across to Bradley. Again, a junk look. Although Chile, I think, have cottoned on and are starting to move the disc a little bit quicker, trying not to get too stuck. Goes crossfield, using the width. Mish Phillips with an aggressive shot up to Notori, to Mickey Dunmore. Creeping towards the red zone now. You see Dunmore, Yoshida, Phillips, they're all involved, all the senior players for Chile. Rogue do well to hold things up a little bit. Ahashi on that far side has been having a really big impact on this game, really reliable for her teammates. Again, using the width across to Yoshida. There's no one on the mark. She's got plenty of time to set things up. Phillips just for the little up line. And goes for the hammer to Langston, who makes sure of it, getting to her knees, straight into the breadbasket. As you see all of the senior Chile players really standing up at this point.
That was a clean hold, clean offensive hold there for Chile. And it has been for the last 3 points for both teams, which shows, I guess, the discussions that were had at halftime, how they've adjusted. Chile have done a really good job at adjusting and utilising the width of the field instead of just trying to cram the disc forward, and it's paying off for them now.
Yeah, absolutely. Katie Locke helping us out with the stats here, showing us the real differences between the first half and the second half. Katie, you want to give us some info and insight there?
Yeah, g'day Avril. So I'm running the stats on this game, and there definitely has been an adjustment in the second half. We've only seen a single break goal in the second half, coming from Rogue getting that first goal. And then every time it's been an offensive hold with minimal turns. The next 2 points out of half, there was a single turn per team, and since then, the last 3 points, the offensive team has maintained possession the whole point and scored that goal. So things are really cleaning up on offense. Back to you, Avril.
Yeah, absolutely. So both teams really settling in well to this game now. But I don't know if Chile gave Rogue too much of a head start for them to claw back. As we have Bub centering to Latamaros. We've got Chile pulling out a junk look of their own now just to slow the Rogue offense. I think that's a nice tactical decision by Cole Fink and Michelle Phillips from a coaching perspective. And Bub gets one through to Pigeon. Owens, Pigeon, 1-2-1-2. Finally, Chile start to hold things up. They're calling a transition to match now. Chung with the disc. She's going to make a good decision, and you know it. Across the Latamaros, commentator's curse. Had to lay out bid to get that, but unsuccessful. That dump defense of Nicole Wong may be paying dividends now. And we've got Yoshida upline to Evie Miller. You can see Jules Kabay in the deep space. Can she outread? Maddie Owens v. Jules Kabay. Maddie Owens wins this matchup. Both ladies getting really high.
We saw there Maddie Owens pushed Kabay in towards the sideline and went up early, which forced Kabay to go up early, and the disc sailed over both their heads.
As we see Chung bringing the disc in, Maddie Owens has been popping up a lot more in this half. A lovely shot to Ruiz down the sideline. Can Chile catch up? There's not a lot of pressure. Maybe transitioning to match will help. still stuck on this sideline.
Oh,
Looks like the force is changing again. That flick shot. Angela Pigeon, easy as you like. Chile can do it. Rogue can do it better.
That was an amazing put there from Mei Li Gao. Like, the vision to see that far side of the field. Oh, maybe it was Eunice Chung, apologies.
Yes.
Eunice Chung that puts it up. Gao with the dump to Chung, and then Chung, like, literally the back corner of the end zone.
Yeah, it's just the fat side. All the defenders have been kind of sucked into the play. You heard that Chile, from the sideline, they went from a junk, transitioned to match, and then they were calling maybe a switching force as well. So perhaps some of the defenders just not repositioning quick enough to deter that shot in that fat side.
So 11-5 to Rogue.
So we've got Doug on the comments letting us know that Chile played a very draining and difficult game against Ampersand prior to this one. Looks like, as we said before, with the draw, with the bye, with uneven or odd-numbered pools.
So we can see here on the screen just a few of the stats that we've got. Scores, Rogue up with 5 breaks. Quite a large amount of turns this game, Avril, which shows the intensity of the defense.
Yeah, turns on both sides. Interestingly, Spicy Chili had more clean holds. It doesn't really feel like it.
Your guess is as good as mine, Avril.
Yoshida, lovely aggressive shot to Phillips. Phillips to Dunmore. The Mondays teammates getting it done. Although a fair bit of heat from Palmer there. The senior leaders for Chile again stepping up for that big play, getting a clean hold. I think that might be 5 clean holds for Chile.
And that was, I think, what, 2 or 3 pass offense there?
Yeah,
two pass offense. Poor reception to Phillips. Phillips to Dunmore, as we see it here again. Missed Phillips on the nice cut, and then puts the beautiful flick up to Dunmore. She had nice separation there from Palmer. Palmer dragging her down on the
trying to get a bite of that disc. Good on her. So you can see Yoshida, just a really aggressive flick, just making Mish Phillips go into that space. So it's interesting, we were talking earlier about Chile using their throws on offense with Rogue using their legs. So a little bit of a contrast in their styles here.
Had a timeout called.
By Rogue, I would suspect.
Trying to stifle some of that Chile momentum. They're having a late comeback train into this game, Avril.
Yeah, definitely. Chile will be hoping that the resurgence continues. Might be interesting to see if they start shortening some of those lines, putting Mish Phillips, Yoshida, Dunmore on a little bit more. I mean, Ahashi's also been having a great game. Whereas with Rogue, there's been quite an even spread of contributors. We've got the stats that Katie Locker's kindly worked on here. We've got some 2s and 1s across the board in terms of goals and assists here, although Eunice Chung standing out with 4 assists, as you would expect from the O-line handler. So yeah, it looks like Chile might be relying on some of their senior players at the moment to get the job done. Let's see perhaps if some of their lesser-known players can step up to the plate.
Only an hour into this game, so there's still a bit of time to go as well, which does give Chile the opportunity to come back as well, which I think is exactly what Rogue was doing with that timeout, calling that timeout to stop that momentum, knowing that there still is some time left in this game, and if they didn't call the timeout to have a chat and potentially change something, they'd be giving that opportunity straight to Chile.
Yeah, so Doug giving us some insight here. Chile had the 1 game yesterday, 3 games today. He reckons that Spicy are just knackered. Whereas Rogue having a slightly more favourable draw with 2 and 2. Winning that universe against Chaos just prior, carrying that momentum into this game really well. So we've got Barb on the disc. Ruiz with a nice undercut. Nicole Wong now catching up to put pressure on the mark. Eunice Chung just racing up line. And going across field to Pigeon, why not? Rogue just seems to be finding space everywhere at the moment. Just a little one to Owens. Oh, Latamados, that's another one that's been in and out of the lap.
And the Chile pressure defensive Chile pressure is what's causing those turns. Because although Latamanos is there, the Chile defense is right on their heels.
Yeah, so the energy and the intensity from the defense is now pretty well matched, I'd say, between the two teams. It's just that offensive polish, which is lacking from Chile. As you see, that was a really big but flat shot by Mish Phillips. Didn't give Suzuki much time to bid for the disc. So Chung bringing it in again to Owens. The usual suspects. Latamanos offers a nice option there on the far sideline. Chung wants a disc, gets in position, but she goes to Pigeon instead for the fill. Pigeon looking for a safe option. The composure by Rogue has been really good. Again, just going for those 100%, working hard for the teammates, giving each other space to work with. We've got Chung. Oh, that's great attack by Gao on the disc. A low one to Owens, keeps it off the ground. There's a lot of sideline chat from Chile trying to help each other out. And Pigeon goes for a massive save. Layout, full extension. Still working with that small ball. Ruiz now, close sideline. Rogue is still really doing well to isolate one cutter, making space for each other. Chile trying to slow things down. Eunice Chung, she's probably going to go for a shot, and that's a lovely inside backhand to the top of stack. Woo! That was Ruiz with the score.
Interesting before Avril, you were saying that they needed to polish up their offense a bit. And maybe you were just loud enough here from the commentators' marquee that they heard you, because that was some fine offense there.
Yeah, I think we're going to throw to Katie, who's got some insights in the stats for us.
Actually, not a stats insight, but a observation. You know how you were saying Rogue were using the centre of the field a little better? Chile are forcing middle.
Yep.
Yeah, there's definitely, you know, I saw, as I was sort of observing the defense from Chile on that point, I could see, you know, players shading over from one side to the other depending on where the player was. And, you know, there can be advantages to a forced middle, can cause some chaos, but
I don't think it's working for them this game,
it's
to be honest.
not. It really isn't.
I think Rogue have got the throwers.
Yeah.
And they've got the poise to make good choices. So
100%.
they're forcing middle and they're just using that small ball, really.
100%.
Small ball and then through the next
And if you put, it's probably a great strategy to put on a team maybe with less experienced throwers who, you know, may, by forcing them to play small ball, higher chance of a turn. But, you know, it's not working right now, but it's not too late yet. Back into the action.
Yeah, so we've got 66, almost 67 minutes now on the clock. Again, bit of a junky look. Branda Lamb just kind of sagging off, sitting into that easy lane. Yoshida goes for aggressive option to Ahashi. Too far in front of her with that downwind, just pushing the disc into the ground.
Giving Rogue the opportunity to bring it back upwind again. We're going to see Carpenter picking up the disc. She has no mark, so she's looking for something to move quickly so she can throw whatever she wants to. So she goes to the safe dump. Back to Carpenter on that far sideline.
Massive block by Notori. She read that disc just a shade ahead of the receiver.
Notori with the disc, right, knocking on the end zone door, dumps back to Ahashi. Looks for, has Miller on the inside, yes!
And that's a Chile score. They'll be pleased with that one.
That run through D from Notori.
Just had that heads-up awareness to get her hand in front of the disc just a millisecond before the receiver. Chile getting their voices up, getting the spirit up. Let's hope they can peg a few more back, get the scoreboard a little closer.
A bit complacent here from the Rogue offense, although it looked like the cutter there, Emily Sutton, it looked like she almost had to stop because the disc had been underthrown to her.
Yeah.
And in the backtrack on that one, Notori was able to pick it off. And then the nice inside thread there, as we see the mark a bit too much on that one. and then nice inside to Evie Miller.
You can see how well Ahasha uses her pivots and her low centre of gravity to really move the mark and open up that inside space. So for those playing at home, low centre of gravity, pivoting, using your fakes definitely opens up your options.
It certainly does. Michaela Dunmore, absolute pearler of a pull there. Shannon Bubb picking up the disc, centres to Eunice Chung. Nice gainer to Ruiz. Maddie Owens, bobbles out of her hand. She went for the one-handed grab.
No, Ruiz wouldn't have been happy. That came out as an inside out of the hands rather than a flat or even an outside in throw. So it's trailing away from Owens. She was reaching for that one-handed.
And there's a run through D there.
By Latamatos. Chung throws to... Matonis gets in the way of Pigeon.
And picks it up and immediately starts moving it. Matonis having to get on the turf to keep that one alive. Jules Kabai providing an option. Dunmore there. She's got Paulbrook now to Matonis. Dunmore working hard. She's pointing, give me options. Goes the inside and Evie Miller gets, Evie Miller goes to get up and Eunice Chung manages to get a hand to it.
Just popped up in that wind, trying to use that middle space.
Lada Mardos picking up the disc. She does not have a dump. Eunice Chung coming back for the around flick, opening up the break side of the field. Here we see Ruiz directing traffic. Owens marked by Dunmore. Bubb providing a break cut, but she was shadowed off. There's Pigeon on the around.
Owens to Pigeon. Just such great composure by Rogue, which is making all the difference in this game.
Getting off lots of breaks in that point, Avril.
Yeah,
lots
absolutely.
of throws down the break side of the field as we see. There's one from Latamatos, and then, that was Ruiz to Owens, and then another break here to Pigeon.
Well, if they were forcing middle, certainly doesn't look like it for this point. Rogue just rifling it through their offense, full of confidence really right now. Can't do much wrong. So Chile not without their opportunities. You see Matonis getting that intercept earlier, but just unable to capitalise.
That's right, so Rogue up 13-7. Getting towards the tail end of this game now, and as we were hearing, especially from the comments earlier, Chile's had a tough day, so it's no surprise that they're probably running out of steam at this point in time.
Yeah, Rogue certainly looked the more fresh of the two teams.
That's a bricked pull.
So Lowry's going to bring it up to the brick mark, although there's a bit of discussion about what to do with it. And you see Miller and Phillips behind the disc in support, although perhaps an ISO Miller here. Oh, and all the cutters are coming at once, although luckily recognising they're getting each other's way. Just a safe dump to Yoshida, back to Ahashi, and she goes for a big one to Phillips. She reads that beautifully. Just what Chile needed, Mish Phillips provides.
And there is little you can do, and very few people who probably had the capacity to be able to D that one when Mish Phillips goes deep.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see the point. Mish started all the way in this backfield, you can see. Then she strikes all the way up. Defender on her tail. I don't think she was expecting that play. But also credit to the other cutters just leaving that space for Mish Phillips to run onto, not dragging their defenders to block her.
Mish Phillips showing us precisely why she got the ironic nickname of Snail.
All right, so Chile making the scoreboard look a little bit more respectable now at 8-13. Let's hope that they've managed to get over that really grueling game against Ellipsis and have started building that momentum.
We've kind of stopped seeing upwind points, and we say that with air quotations because it's a pseudo upwind point now. We kind of stopped seeing those being scored and everything just occurring to the left of the field. So Chung there in the centre of the field. Nice backhand. Ooh, takes some contact from Dunmore there. That's Gal. Looking back at Bub, but she's covered nicely by Matonis. Michaela Dunmore with a massive mark. She finds Chung on this close sideline though. Nice backhand up the line there. Shannon Bub, I believe.
Yep.
So that's Rogue. 14-8, very clean hold, very quick offense.
Yeah, I think Rogue will be really happy with that one. It's 14-8 now with point cap at 15. So Rogue really being able to smell the finishing line now. Let's see what Chile can do. The energy seems pretty flat, admittedly. Everyone just slowly walking to the line.
So it's Rogue sitting at 14, and when we look at the stats, that's 6 assists from Eunice Chung.
Yeah, they haven't managed to shut her down, really. I mean, we did see Nicole Wong doing some pretty good dump defense in Ladamados, but it's really difficult with a roster deep like Rogue. You stop one, someone else pops up.
And you're exactly right there, because when we look at where they're spread, it's Eunice Chung 6, Shannon Bub 2, Rhea Carpenter 2, Janacek 2. Like, there's still lots of names. You take out one, you take out Eunice Chung, someone else is just going to step up and start racking up those numbers instead.
Yeah, definitely. And they've got a good spread of scorers as well. We've got Pigeon leading the stats with 3, but Owens, Lamb, and Gal with 2 each. Dunmore winds up for the big. Keeps it small with Bradley. Oh, Dunmore goes for a big lefty flick. All the way to Tash Langston. Mish Phillips gets to ground to save that. They're knocking on the door now, Chile. Can they stay composed? Back across to Dunmore. And a hammer to Notori for the goal. Chile peg another back. 9-14.
The lefty hammer, it came out perfectly, and it actually had the, like, as you suppose if you think of a righty hammer, the way that one would arc, the lefty hammer arced perfectly away from the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Mickey Dunmore really stepping up this point. You saw her with that kind of bladey lefty flick huck all the way to Tash Langston, just slice through all of defenders, getting the little dump back, and then that lovely hammer as you described, Oakley.
And as we see it on the screen here again, it arcs away from the Rogue defenders. So Carl's Carpenter, I believe, the disc curved around away from her, so it made a run through D
near impossible.
Near impossible. Yeah. Whereas if that came from a righty, it would have arced straight towards her. So beautiful vision there, beautiful execution from Dunmore.
And look at her excitement on screen.
Look at the celebration.
Dunmore, probably, we're used to seeing her more in the receiver space, so she's getting it done behind the disc, doing what the team needs.
So this is potentially game point here again for Rogue. They're coming out on offense though. So Chile have to just continue to get D after D after D now to keep this game alive, which is a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, for sure. You see Mish Phillips with the pull. She's played several points in a row, backing up. She does step up in big games. Let's see if you can do it again.
Chung with the disc. She's got Bub open here in this close sideline, but she overlooks it and instead takes Ruiz, gaining a nice bit of field there.
Oh! Chung just manages to grab that disc, even though it was thrown slightly behind her. Then slices through crossfield to Maddie Owens. Chile trying to catch up, apply a little bit of pressure on the thrower. 1-2 with Ladamados. Barb calling for it in the deep space. She goes for the nice, easy, composed option. Rogue just content to swing it about until they're sure of it. And Pigeon now on the doorstep. You see Rogue working hard, Ruiz. They really want this game point. Nice safe throw to Owen. Again, similar position to before, gesturing where she wants the players to go. And that break around, and Chong for the score. And that's a game to Rogue. You'd say a pretty dominant performance, really. Such good composure on offense, which was really the difference against a bit of a tired Chile after some intense games today.
You see Eunice Chong getting a goal on the board instead of the assist this time. Not generally seeing her on the receiving end of those.
No, her and Michaela Dunmore kind of flipped the script this time.
And as you see there on the replay, I think Ruiz comes up, and there was actually a pick called on that. But because the throw went around to Chung on the break side of the field, the pick didn't end up affecting, and you saw that it was actually decided that the goal stands.
Yep, so that was really well-spirited by Chile to recognise that, you know, if it didn't affect, then that pick call can be retracted.
And that's it. Rogue coming out on with the win on this one, which I think, as we heard early on in the piece prior to starting this stream, that it avoids a three-way tie in their pool.
Oh, is that right, Oakley?
I think, yeah, I believe if Chile won, there was going to be a weird three-way tie in that pool. I don't know who.
Ellipsis, Manly, probably.
I think we would have included Ellipsis and Manly. So I guess that kind of sorts out Rogue saying you're welcome. So we have ampersand
3-1.
3-1 in that pool now. Rogue going to be up now 3-1.
Oh, so it might be a little bit of count back to see who finishes top of that pool then.
And we're just waiting to see what's going to be the outcome of some of the other games being played right now.
Yeah, so Manly before this time slot was 2-1 as well. So, all right, so Ellipsis was 3-1, Rogue 2-1 and Manly 2-1 before this game. So, okay, well, maybe not quite as messy as the men's pools, but yeah, certainly some opportunities for a few different teams. It just goes to show how tight things are getting at Div 1 Nats these days.
That's exactly right, Avril. And with the end of this stream, wraps up the end of day 2.
What a finish. I think we've had some amazing games on the stream today. Can you believe it? We've still got 2 more days, Oakley.
Still 2 more games of play, and we start seeing the tail end of play tomorrow, which brings on finals. And so you know you're going to see some absolute tight, clutch games being played there.
Yeah, for sure. Now that the pool play is over, it'll be quarterfinals and crossover. So stakes are high, sudden death.
Stakes are high, and stay tuned for tomorrow. We'll be back bright and early, bringing you day 3 of the Australian Ultimate Championships. I'm Oakley Mullen.
And I'm Avril Tam. See you later.
ULTI.TV.